Latest podcast. I am your host, JP John Paz. Of course, joining me is the former WWF and WCW head writer, the former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Vince Russo. Vince, welcome back. How you doing?
What is going on, John? How you doing this morning, man?
Doing good, doing good. Very interesting that we're going to be talking about King of the Ring 1999 today, just for the simple fact that Money in the Bank just happened. You kind of created Money in the Bank. Do you realize that?
I
What are your
I
thoughts on
I,
that?
I don't, bro. I saw a couple of tweets and I didn't. What? Tell me. I don't even know what we're talking about.
So the ladder, obviously, you got to climb it in the briefcase, and in the briefcase is a contract for a number one contenders match, usually for the world title. Drew McIntyre won it, Tiffany Stratton won it, and they're obviously McIntyre got screwed, but Tiffany's going to go on and probably win the title because she's going to cash in the briefcase at any point and any time. But here, back in 1999, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince and Shane for control of WWF. So you actually have the briefcase hanging, and they have to climb the ladder to get it. So technically speaking, you invented the Money in the Bank
There you
ladder
go,
match.
bro. There you go. Chalk that up to Vince Russo. Let me give myself a round of applause. Hold on, John. Hold on, John. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is that a good thing? Are you loving Money in the Bank? Is that you basically invented it?
Yeah. I mean, I'll take credit for. I take credit for everything else, right? So I might as well take credit for that.
True, very true.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the King of the Ring, I don't know if you're going to remember this or not. I mean, we'll get into the show, obviously, but we know Billy Gunn wins the King of the Ring in '99. Meltzer had reported that Big Show was supposed to win, but because it got leaked, and he's supposed to win the tournament, but because the information got leaked, they decided to switch it. They pulled it from
Not
from Big
not
Show and gave it to Billy Gunn. Any
not
truth?
not true at all, bro. There's no truth to that whatsoever. Vince was always very, very high on Billy Gunn. And for all the right reasons, man. You know, Billy was a freaking thoroughbred, man. He still is to this day. And I always say, bro, Billy Gunn was the best athlete I ever worked with. Athletically. And Vince was always high on Billy, always pushing Billy. Zero truth to that whatsoever.
I just thought that was interesting because it's like Big Show is going to win the King of the Ring. I don't know. That seems kind of
No.
no.
I don't know where he gets this stuff from, bro. Somebody tells him something and the dude just runs with it, man, so
So as far as King of the Ring 1998, that King of the Ring was held kind of mishmash, like half on Raws and stuff, and half on the pay per view. King of the Ring 99, where we're at today, is the whole tournament is held in one night. Any like reasoning why it kind of got switched like that, or why you decided to do the whole tournament in one night?
I like that, bro, man. Oh God, I gotta remember which one it was because I always confuse them. I believe they did that at WrestleMania 4, right?
Yeah, the tournament. Yep.
Yeah, the one night, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was there for that, man. I was there in Atlantic City for WrestleMania 4, and I really enjoyed that. So I bet that probably subliminally had some impact on me, bro. You know, that I remembered that, and I thought the way they did it was good, and I enjoyed it. That's probably why we booked it this way.
Nice little WrestleMania 4 tribute there. So
Yeah.
obviously, like I said, the topic is King of the Ring 1999. It was on June 27th, Greensboro, North Carolina, Flair country down there
Mm,
at the Greensboro Coliseum.
wow.
20,108 on hand. So
Yeah.
big Coliseum, huge sold out crowd. Buy rate was good too, 406,000. So
Nice.
very big buy rate
Yeah.
for a King of the Ring. Are you surprised at all as far as not that 20,000, but that's WCW country, that's Flair country, and WWF? I know in '99 you guys were dominating, but does that surprise you at all that you guys kind of just took
Nah,
over?
bro, especially with that main event, yeah, nah, bro. That Austin Vince was so freaking hot back then, man. That does not surprise me at all.
When you look at it, I mean, obviously 406,000 is a lot too, and this is not technically. I mean, technically, I guess you could say it's part of the Big Five, but it's not really a part of the Big Four when you think of WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, SummerSlam. So that's got to be a nice nice chunk too.
Yeah, I would think so. I don't think we were looking at it that way, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't handle King of the Ring any less differently than I did the Big Four. I really didn't. That's hard for people to understand, bro, because when you're writing every single week, every show is just a show. You know what I'm saying? Like WrestleMania, like it's not a special show to me, and SummerSlam is not. It's just another show. So I'm basically treating every single show the same. So, I never looked at King of the Ring as fifth best. I'm just trying to write the best show that I can.
And just keep it organically going week to
Yeah.
week as far as
Yep.
storylines.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do you think though? Okay, WrestleMania is happening. Is there some extra like oomph to it, or extra writing, or no? Everything's the same. Raw is the same. WrestleMania is the same.
Everything's the same, bro. Everything's the same. I mean, bro, I'm writing again now for an indie promotion here in Colorado. Bro, I'm just telling you, man, it writes itself. If you just go with human nature and you go with the storylines and you stay true to every character, as I sit down, bro, I got to write 5 shows now. It's like a 5-show loop to the next big show. Bro, you just let one organically go right into the next, into the next, into the next. I mean, they don't do it that way anymore. And I really do believe they're just making it harder on themselves, because I do believe if you allow the show to write itself, it will write itself.
I like that. Now, as far as 1999 is concerned, Vince McMahon has now been revealed as the higher power. He's a heel again now. Do you like that as far as just being Vince and not somebody else? Do you feel like that's a good capper as far as the reveal of the higher power being Vince and just not another person?
I wasn't crazy about that, John. I really wasn't. But I think it was the best option for what we had at the time. I really do believe. I mean, it was a plan B. There's no question about that. You're going to have your plan Bs, bro. Stuff is not going to work out. So it's always going to be a plan B, but I really felt at that time it was the best option that we had.
Then with Shane and Vince at the helm, they're kind of taking over. Linda reveals on a Raw that she's a CEO. She comes out, and since that obviously they kidnapped Stephanie, they put her to a cross, they crucified her, all the stuff that they did to Stephanie. Linda's not happy. Stephanie's upset. Shane and Vince say it's just business. It's just business.
Right.
Like, you can't use my daughter like that. You can't use me. I'm your daughter. You can't use me like that. So Linda says she's going to step down as CEO, and she's going to make Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's going to be a little less business-like around the office.
Now, bro, that's the thing, John. As you talk about that, bro, that wasn't planned. That wasn't planned for months and months and months. It wasn't, bro. I mean, that literally is, we are booking King of the Ring. We come up with this ladder match. Then we come up with a swerve of a type finish. And then the question becomes, okay, bro, how do we creatively get out of this? And not only how do we creatively get out of this, how do we creatively get out of this in a way that the fans will never see coming? I mean, that's how it develops. If anybody thinks Linda McMahon and that story was storyboarded for 3 or 6 months, you're out of your freaking mind, bro. That was probably the conversation a week prior to King of the Ring.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So with obviously Stone Cold Steve
Bro,
Austin
that's why too. Let me be honest. Like, that's why I really believe we were so valuable to Vince, me and Ed, because Vince would have never suggested his own family. He would have never suggested that because of how it would have been perceived by the boys. It would have been perceived by the boys of, Vince's family is now taking TV time, food. I mean, that's how they would have perceived it. Even Vince working, even Vince winning a belt, even Vince getting in the ring. If he didn't have somebody else writing that, I don't believe for a second Vince would have ever got any of his family involved, including himself, at all.
Interesting. So you guys are helping along the story, maybe that he wouldn't have done. When you
Absolutely.
look at it too, Stone Cold Steve Austin has become the CEO, obviously in kayfabe and gimmick and character because of Linda. But was Linda comfortable being on air and being on TV?
If she wasn't, she never let us know about it. I don't know what the conversations were like with her and Vince, at all, but it never came back to us that Linda didn't want to do it or Linda felt uncomfortable. I mean, we suggested it, and obviously he had to, go to her. And I don't know how that conversation went, but with us, there was never an issue with it.
So of course on Raw they build it up. Austin's the CEO at the headquarters, firing people, drinking beer, the cow manure all over the Vince's office and stuff like that. Who produced that? Is that you producing that?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I did, bro, because I'm working in that building. So that a lot of stuff, bro, I didn't produce when we were on location because I was working the show. So like there were things that I had to send Bruce on to do that I could not do. But yeah, bro, this is in the office. I work in the office, so I'm sure I was working with Steve on these.
This seems like I don't know. Feels like it would be a lot of fun doing that. I mean, he gets to ruin the headquarters. He's drinking. He's
Absolutely,
throwing stuff
man.
around. The
Bro,
maneuver.
anything that's out of the norm and anything that's outside of the bubble is fun. Anything creative, bro, that you've never done before, that hasn't been repeated a million times, anything like that is fun.
Man, it's just one of those things that Austin is very lucky. I know he's Austin and he's a huge star, but he gets to do all this stuff, destroy property. I mean, he's getting all the deals, all this great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously Vince and Shane are pissed. That's my office. And what is he doing? What is Linda? This is her fault. So a lot of McMahon family drama is brewing.
Yeah. Probably nothing like the McMahon family drama behind the scenes today, John. I'd love to see that drama. My God, I would love to see that drama.
That should be a reality show.
Yeah. Bro, let me ask you a question. Out of all the stuff going on TV now with all the companies across the board, would you rather see that, or would you really rather know what's going on behind the scenes with the McMahon family and where Vince stands with Triple H and Stephanie and where Shane is and all that? What would you rather see?
I don't know. I think I'd rather see the behind the scenes stuff, to be honest, because that would be really fascinating. Because we think we know, but we don't really know. You know what I mean?
No, we don't know, bro. We know, no way we know, man. Especially when you got such a dysfunctional family like that, it's not going to be what we think it is. You know what I mean? So, but I would love to know what the dynamic is now behind those scenes, man. That would be fascinating.
Yeah, and where does Shane sit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's he thinking about right now?
Yeah, that would be unbelievable.
Teasing, for some reason, Sasha Banks teasing that he's going to AEW, which is crazy. But hey, we're worth a shot to throw out there.
Yeah.
So as far as the show is concerned, I'll just mention that the Heat matches first because Heat does build up, obviously, right into the pay-per-view. There was a dark match before you guys went on air. Meat, a.k.a. Sean Stasiak, with Jacqueline and Terry Reynolds, defeated Kurt Angle.
Wow.
Yeah, so Angle's coming up and doing all those shows.
That's fascinating, bro, because I remember meeting Kurt because he hadn't come in yet. I did not know Kurt Angle did a dark match on my watch until you just told me that. That's completely fascinating to me. I did not know that.
If you did go to some shows in 98, 99, from a fan perspective, you saw him in a lot of dark matches, actually.
Wow,
so he did a bunch.
Okay, I did not know that.
Then we start off Heat, the Brood of Christian and Edge with Gangrel versus the Hardy Boys, Jeff and Matt Hardy, with Michael Hayes, goes to a no contest, 1 minute, 30 seconds. This was the number one contendership tag team match to determine, obviously, for the tag team titles. That match will happen then on the pay-per-view. So you kind of tease it on Heat. Now you're going to put it on the pay-per-view.
So
it must be a winner.
So what happens in 1 minute 30 seconds? Just a whole bunch of chaos and it gets thrown out.
Yeah, with Hayes and Gangrel and gets thrown out.
That's creative, and then we make it part of the pay-per-view.
Yep.
See now, bro, what could have happened there, bro? Here's what that sounds like to me.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was hurt going into the pay-per-view and we had to cut time. That's what it sounds like to me, because that's not normal booking. So
Yeah.
I would think that is a possibility, bro, that somebody was favoring some kind of an injury. We had to cut minutes off a match, and maybe we added that at the last minute.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So the corporate ministry, Midian and Visera defeated the Big Boss Man in a handicap match in 1 minute and 45 seconds. That's just an interesting thing here, because Boss Man basically gets fired from the corporation before the pay-per-view because he screwed up. He lost to Austin, which is, which means that Austin gets to pick the stipulation for the pay-per-view, which he makes it winner take all, which then they turn into the ladder match. So it's like Boss Man kind of screwed up basically, so he gets
Right.
fired. And then it's also the fact that if he won, the corporation could interfere in the match. Since Austin beats Bossman on that Raw, no member of the corporation can interfere in the match. So he really screwed up. Like he kind of
Yeah.
ruined. So Vince fires him. Then the corporate ministry beats him up on here. Seems like obviously a bit of a swerve, right? And we'll get to it later, but somebody obviously is messing with the briefcase with the ladder. It goes
Right.
up when Austin goes down. Was that supposed to be Boss Man? Is it a tease that it's Boss Man? Why does Boss Man kind of get fired? Was he gonna be a babyface? Like, what were you planning on doing
Yeah,
with Boss
bro,
Man here?
I got to try to figure this thing out as you go along, because I don't remember. Like I said, John, if we're booking according to the story, then Boss Man would be fired for effing up. I mean, that's just what Vince McMahon would do. It's not about turning him heel, turning him babyface. It's not about that. It's about, how these characters would react. So if he cost Vince all of this, without a shadow of a doubt, he would be fired.
So it's not revealed who lifts the briefcase, but it's not Boss Man, or it's not supposed to be, or it is.
I don't remember. Somebody asked me the other day. I just said Gilbert. I have no idea, bro. I have no idea.
Then we have Prince Albert with draws defeating Val Venus in 2 minutes. And then here's the big kicker as far as the pay-per-view is concerned. Ken Shamrock defeats Shane McMahon via disqualification, 45 seconds. This is all leading to the pay-per-view. Shamrock is going to be in the King of the Ring, but Blackman comes down with the kendo stick and helps Shane and destroys. Ken Shamrock beats the hell out of him, internal bleeding. And his match with Billy Gunn is now in question for the King of the Ring. So building up there, but Shane also says that he is injured from that match, and that is probably going to be Vince versus Austin one-on-one, maybe. So it's like,
yeah,
you got to watch the pay-per-view. They're teasing a lot of stuff.
That is unbelievable, bro, because that is like, we are 100% trying to sell the pay-per-view. Like 100%, man. And, again, man, stuff like that, because, the landscape has changed. You can see everything on Peacock for $10 a month or whatever it is. So there isn't really and bro, you know what? I don't think this exists in wrestling anymore. There isn't a sense of urgency anymore. This is a sense of urgency. This is the last pitch, the last minute we have to get people to buy the pay-per-view. And as you said, John, it was 400 and something thousand buys. And that was the beauty of having a show like Heat. It was a last minute push. If people were on the fence, to be creative and push them in the direction of buying the pay-per-view.
So much going on Heat. It's crazy. There was so much going on. So basically, you kind of have to order the pay-per-view. I mean, there's just like so much going on there. So when the pay-per-view starts, a video package obviously highlighting the main event, which is winner take all, Austin versus the McMahons in that ladder match. They also show the Heat highlights, which Shane and Shamrock, which I just discussed, and how Blackman attacked him, how he's bleeding, and how he's in the back with basically security and a doctor, and he's got internal bleeding, but Shamrock doesn't care. He wants to be a part of the King of the Ring tournament. Do you think that he needs to be in the King of the Ring since he won it last year? Is that weird to put him in it again, or no?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so. Again, think about it, bro. That's Shamrock's character. Would he not want to be in it because he won it last year? You know what I'm
Yep.
saying, bro? Everything, man's got to be looked at by the point of the view of the characters.
So interestingly enough, this actual like quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, so like the 8 wrestlers will be all decided here. You do have 16 guys technically in the tournament, which was all done the quote unquote first round on TV to get in to the King of the Ring on the pay-per-view. So I'll quickly run through it. Billy Gunn beat Visera, Shamrock beat Jarrett, Big Show beat Draws, Kane beat Test, Road Dogg beat the Godfather, China defeated Val Venus, Hardcore Holly defeated Al Snow, X-Pac defeated Big Boss Man. So we got Billy Gunn versus Ken Shamrock in the first round, Big Show versus Kane, Road Dogg versus China, Hardcore Holly, and X-Pac. So that's kind of how we get
Wow,
into the King of the Ring. China,
yeah,
the first woman ever in
yeah,
the King of the Ring. She
those
broke a lot
matchups.
of barriers too.
Yeah, those matchups are very, 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 very interesting. And why did we break those barriers, John? Because China's character in her mind felt that she can compete with the guys, and she wanted to prove to the world that she could compete with the guys. I mean, that's basically the storyline, you know?
Well, and physically, you look at her;
Yeah.
she's just as big as some of them,
Yep.
even bigger than than some of
Yep.
them.
Yeah.
So the first match is X-Pac and Hardcore Holly. This is the King of the Ring quarterfinal. X-Pac defeated Hardcore Holly via disqualification. Hardcore Holly used the chair, interestingly enough. So they're kind of playing it up, or you're really playing it up. He's doing the hardcore thing. He kind of has a feud with Road Dogg and even Al Snow over the hardcore title. He can't, not distinguish, or like basically he
Yeah.
thinks he's the big shot, quote unquote. That's his nickname. He thinks he can do whatever he wants. He thinks it's hardcore rules. Not the case. He gets disqualified for using the chair. What do you think about that finish?
Yeah, no, he's Hardcore Holly, bro. So you got to live up to that name. You know, it's funny, bro, because it's like today, when I look at Raw, and then people say, "Oh, but Vince, you're so critical and bitter and this and that and the other thing." Bro, you call a guy main event Jey Uso, and he's in the second match of the show. Well, then he's not a main event. You know what I'm saying, bro? Why are you calling the guy main event so-and-so when he's on the second match? So when he's Hardcore Holly, he's got to be Hardcore Holly, bro. I mean, that's how you develop a character. So, it makes all the sense in the world to me.
So then he's still got the chair. Road Dogg comes out and makes the save, and obviously Holly skedaddles. But
I'm
X-Pac
assuming this was a
on.
good match, John. No?
Yes, but it's only about how short was it? It was only about 3 minutes long.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it was good while it lasted, but it was
Yeah.
short because you got a lot of matches because of the tournament.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if it was longer, I think it would have been really good. But it was
Yeah.
it was short. It was only about 3 minutes and 2 seconds. So then Holly has a promo backstage. He just a simple reminder that the Big Show is still on his mind. And basically calls him out and he says, "I'm the Big Shot." So got it kind of teasing that he might be making his presence known later in the night when Kane fights Big Show. Interestingly enough, Terry Taylor was the backstage interviewer.
Oh, wow. Very interesting, man. Very, very interesting. Wow. Okay.
So keep your eyes open for the Big Shot. He'll be back. The next matchup, we have Kane. Maybe surprisingly, Jim Ross said huge upset. Like, even though it kind of isn't, Ross really built it up like it was a huge upset. Kane defeats Big Show in 6 minutes and 30 seconds, thanks to the Big Shot. Like we said, Holly nailed Big Show with the chair. He said he owed him one, and he, obviously returned that receipt from their little feud that they
Yeah.
had going on.
And see, bro, that's the difference, man. And that's one of the things that has freaking changed. When you watch the WWE, because the hardcore fan base has convinced them that you need clean finishes. What you wind up, bro, with is 50-50 booking and nobody gets over. This is why you need to have F finishes, bro, because this finish, you get Kane over on the Big Show, but this finish protects the Big Show. He lost to Kane because he was screwed. If he wasn't screwed, would it have been a different outcome? This is why what people call F finishes are, no, bro, they're not F finishes. They're part of the storyline, and they're designed to protect the talent who's losing, bro. That's the whole idea of it. I watched the WWE Now, and I'm like, Sami Zayn beat Gunther and Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
I'm
nuts.
not looking at those two guys the same, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not. If Braun Breaker lost to Sami Zayn, I'm not looking at him the same. That's why you do these types of finishes, bro.
Insane. Yeah, that of all the good that Triple H, I feel like he's been doing that. Not liking those two finishes at all, and they weren't even like fluky. He like beat
That's
them.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, like insane.
Because what? Because they want a clean finish in a fake match? Really?
Yeah, that's definitely a misstep there. Two really bad booking decisions by H. Interestingly enough, Holly thinks he's the big shot. He thinks he's like he beat up these big guys. Kane beats him up for
Yeah.
even though Kane technically helps him, he beats him up.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Okay, match. It was a bit slow, but I just thought it was interesting that JR basically goes big upset there. Kane defeats Big Show.
Man, I wonder, bro, like, I swear to God, like, I wonder when you have two guys that big, I wonder what it's like for them to work with each other. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, you're literally talking about two giants, and just the physicality involved and getting a guy off his feet. And my God, bro, I can't imagine what that would be like.
Kane does nail him with a very vicious chair shot. No hands up either. Big Show just takes it, and that costs him the win. But yeah, it definitely, like, they're both kind of slow. They both, you know what I mean? Like, it's definitely not as good as another match if they wrestled somebody smaller or quicker. So Kane advances into the next round, wins that quarterfinal match. Backstage, Vince McMahon says that Shane is hurt. He tells that to Michael Cole. So still teasing that Shane might not be in the main event. So we're still unsure.
Yeah, I love, man, and they don't do this anymore. We're still storytelling through the pay-per-view, which I love. I think that's absolutely great. I really, really love that.
So next up, another King of the Ring qualifier, Mr. Ass. Billy Gunn beats Ken Shamrock via referee stoppage. Basically, Shamrock ends up throwing the ref outside afterwards because he's pissed about it. But there's the internal bleeding. Again, he's bleeding from the attack from earlier from Blackman. Billy Gunn knows this. So Billy Gunn ends up winning via stoppage, 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
See, bro,
he's the heel. Like, so he kind of cheats his way to the next round.
That's the beauty of it, bro. Like, creatively trying to figure out how to get out of these matches. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, that's a great creative way to get out of the match, to get Billy over Shamrock. Otherwise, how are you going to get Billy over Shamrock, bro? If Billy beats Shamrock, that hurts Shamrock. This is a great creative way to advance Billy in the tournament.
So, Mr. Ass, as his nickname is, I was just curious. I know you have nothing to do with theme songs, but do you remember this theme song? He's an ass man. I'm an ass man. And then he's, it's like he loves to kiss them. He loves to kick him. He loves to float him. He like all this.
Well, yeah, that was, bro, Mr. Ass was 1,000% Vince's idea. 1,000. And I'm not throwing him under the bus. I'm telling you, that was Vince's idea. He was so into this, bro. It does not surprise me at all. When you tell me that does not surprise me at all, of Vince working very closely with Jim Johnson to tell Jim exactly what he wants for the music. Bro, when Vince got invested in somebody, and Vince put his like stamp on somebody, he really went all the way. Like, Vince was all the way behind like the New Age Outlaws. Vince was all the way behind Billy Gunn. When he was committed to a talent, bro, he would go all the way with it, man.
It's funny too, because Billy Gunn, obviously his name, Jim Ross, meaning not he, Jim Ross is saying that Billy Gunn wins. Like, and then it almost as if somebody's correcting. He goes, Mr. Ass, Mr.
That's
Like, yeah,
exactly Vince in his headset's correcting him, bro.
yeah.
1000%.
And the
1000%.
and the graphic as he moves on, Mr. Ass. It
Yeah.
doesn't say, when you show the tournament, it says
Yeah.
Mr. Ass. It doesn't say Billy Gunn.
Yes. Yeah.
Man, that theme song, as for bad as it is, it's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we go to the back. Triple H and China have a promo with Kevin Kelly, little backstage interview. China says she's the first woman. Don't underestimate her. She's going to win. And Triple H says he wants the world title. He's not on the show wrestling, but that's his focus. Even though he's in the corporate ministry, technically, you know what I mean? He wants the title.
Which is great, bro, because you're still putting the emphasis on the title, and that should be the most important thing to everybody. So that's good. That's reminding people how important the title is.
So King of the Ring quarterfinal, the last one, Road Dogg versus China. Road Dogg ends up beating China 13 minutes. So long match. Crazy that Holly gets 3 minutes with X-Pac, but he gets 13. Road Dogg gets the win. China does a low blow because Triple H is interfering. HBK actually pulls Triple H off as well because he's the babyface commissioner. He says, no, get out of here. No interfering. Let the match go. China gives Road Dogg a low blow, but no, he's got the metal cup. So her arm is hurt, hits him with his finish. He gets the win in 13 minutes there. So a lot going on. You got HBK, you got Triple H out there, but Road Dogg gets the win.
I bet you Brian sold his ass off for her, bro, during that match.
Yep.
I guarantee you he sold her ass off. Good for him.
He really did, was making her look at it. I just couldn't believe how long it was. It was like, wow,
man.
that's the longest.
Did she hold her own?
Yeah, for the most part, she did pretty good. Yeah. Yep.
Good. Yeah.
I feel like it would have been better though if it was a little shorter. She would have came off better, but still,
Yeah, good.
The crowd, man, they're into the Road Dogg. He was super over.
Was he really?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I was Bullet Bob from that area?
No, he's more Pensacola area, like more Florida.
Right,
there's North, but he did always call it North Kakalaki. Remember, he used to say that North Carolina. He ingratiated himself. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, maybe he was at Fort Bragg or something when he was in the Army. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But
do you think that had a lot to do with Road Dogg being so over in the match?
No. I think it's because of his shtick, just his charisma, his shtick, Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call. Like the crowd was into it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hit the jab he does.
Yeah,
and they're into all of his stuff.
Awesome. Well, bro, really that's a great wrestling town, man. I mean, that's obviously everybody knows that. That's always been a great wrestling town.
It's interesting, like when you go back and you look though, like Billy Gunn was really getting a strong push, right? But he's a heel, but he's really getting a strong push. Do you think maybe Road Dogg should have gotten that push? You know what I mean? Because Road Dogg was so over. I know it's a babyface versus a heel here, but do you think,
bro,
maybe?
that's so interesting because it's kind of like, as you say that, it's like, again, and this is why it probably didn't happen, because it's like, man, I don't see the Road Dogg as a heel because of what you just said. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's so beloved. He's so over. What are you going to take away his mic work? Because now you got to turn him heel. You know what I'm saying? So would he have been able to pull it off 1000% without a doubt? But man, that was never even up for conversation to turn him heel.
When you look at Mr. Ass, obviously, he will be moving on to the semifinals. Road Dogg will be moving on as well. It'll be Billy Gunn versus Kane, X-Pac versus Road Dogg. So babyface DX match will happen. But before that, we have the number one contenders for the WWF Tag Team titles. The Hardy Boys, Jeff and Matt, with Michael P.S. Hayes, defeat the Brood with Gangrel in about 5 minutes to become the number one contenders for the Tag Team titles for the Acolytes.
Were they calling him Michael Hayes or Doc Hendricks?
I think at this point it's Michael Hayes.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I hated that, man.
You know what's interesting, though? He's only like 41 or something at this point. He was jumping over the top rope. He's taking bumps. He's throwing the left-handed punch. He was like he looked good here.
He just loved that. He absolutely loved it. Yeah.
Could he have wrestled, or he had too many injuries?
I don't think so, bro, because it never really got brought up. We never really discussed him wrestling. Bro, you know what? It's funny that you say that, because in my mind, I would have thought he was a lot older than that. but I never thought about putting him in the ring and wrestling to have a match.
It's crazy because you always think he looks a little older, so you always thinks he's older. And he started in the business when he was like 19 with the Freebirds, and
Yeah,
going through. He was so young,
yeah,
people don't even realize that
yeah,
he was this young in 1999.
yeah. So
So
he's still relatively young today. So was he still in the 60s?
I believe so, yeah, as far as
Wow,
I
okay.
know.
Yeah.
When you look at this, though, Gangrel cost them. He spits the blood in Edge's eyes by accident, which cost him the finish. Michael Hayes is involved too, but Gangrel is costing it. Are you guys seeing Edge as like maybe like a babyface star here and turning him
I
against the
would
group?
definitely think so, bro. Just his look, you know what I'm saying? When somebody's that cool, bro, it's like Kevin Nash, man. You know when you got a guy, it's the Hardys. When you got guys that are just so cool looking and not trying to be cool looking, they just are. It's an uphill battle for those guys to be heels, man.
Michael Hayes, 65.
Wow, that's very
Yeah,
young, bro.
yeah, pretty
Very
young.
young. Cool.
Um, So Vince McMahon comes out after this. The Hardys are now number one contenders. They're going to have races to face the Acolytes. But McMahon comes out, cuts an in-ring promo, and says that he will have a suitable replacement. Per the contract, we will have a suitable replacement. I love when he gets over like weird words. Remember, he used to go in this very ring. Like for some
Oh
reason,
yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
he does
yeah,
that. Like
yes,
suitable
yeah,
replacement.
yeah, yeah.
HBK comes out and kind of basically says, "What are you trying to say, Vince?" And he's like, "Well, according to the contract, I'll have a suitable replacement." So Vince is teasing it won't be Shane in the main event. HBK is kind of having to go along with it.
That's funny, bro. Because well, depending on how it's paid off, it is Shane though, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay, see, because what I was gonna say is if it was paid off with somebody else, we would have done that at Heat. You know, that would have been
yep,
a huge, huge, huge hook for Heat. But the reason we didn't do that was it's going to wind up being Shane anyway. So people would have called that the old bait and switch.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yep. So then we have the semifinals match.
I
Billy
love when
Gunn,
people talk about like, like the bait and switch when
yeah,
it's something on the television show. Bro, the show's free. Okay, you ain't baiting and switching anybody. The TV show, you're getting that for free. Now, if you were to do something like that in a pay-per-view, that's a bait and switch. When you
right,
get people to pay money and then don't flip, not on free television, bro.
right. Makes sense. Yep.
Yeah.
So Billy Gunn versus Kane in the semifinal match. Billy Gunn defeats Kane thanks to the Big Show. 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Big Show hit him with the chair, a little retaliation for
Yes.
earlier.
How would
Obviously,
you how,
continuing
how
that
would
feud.
you get that finish? You're just gonna put Billy over Kane again, bro? That's putting Sami Zayn over Gunther. You
Yeah.
can't do
Yep.
that, bro. You've got to have stories and you got to have other people getting involved.
Yep. Smartly, too, because then you're going to have Big Show and Kane feud, and Billy Gunn gets to kind of keep sneaking his way as
Yeah,
the heel to the
yeah,
finals. He thinks, kiss my royal ass and all this other stuff he's saying. He thinks but you can tell he's squeaking by. The fans are
yeah.
not happy. He's just squeaking by here. Then we have X-Pac backstage for promo with Kevin Kelly. He's saying straight up match with the Road Dogg, may the best man win. So this is just going to be a pure babyface match. Do you like that?
Yeah, I do. I do because it's interesting because I always like a match where as a fan I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I don't know what they're going to do in this match. I don't know who they're going to put over and I don't know how they're going to get over. So it's interesting to me.
So here we are for the semifinal match. X-Pac defeats Road Dogg, a little bit over 3 minutes. Just a straight babyface match with the clean finish, and they shake hands and hug afterwards. The crowd wasn't as into it, maybe because it's babyface versus babyface.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I don't think they want to see these guys fight.
Are you surprised? I mean, not really surprised because you booked it, but maybe I'm surprised that Road Dogg didn't go over to get Road Dogg versus Billy Gunn in the finals.
Well, I would think, John, that at that point, X-Pac needed the victory more because for as over as you're saying Road Dogg was,
Yeah.
X-Pac probably needed the win here more than Road Dogg.
So X-Pac and Billy Gunn is your King of the Ring finals. Then up next, we have the WWF title match. Obviously, there's a video package. The Undertaker with Paul Bearer versus The Rock.
Wow.
So this is a pretty long match. The Undertaker ends up getting the victory in 19 minutes to retain his WWF title. Triple H is out there interfering. The Rock is using ether that he took from Paul Bearer. There's a lot, of shenanigans and stuff going on in this match. It's funny. Rock ends up putting ether on Undertaker. Undertaker gets knocked out for a little bit. Triple H gets involved. He does the pedigree. It's all sort of, shenanigans. But then Undertaker pops up. He's exhausted. Tombstone, over. That's the finish. 1, 2, 3. So kind of clean, but kind of not. Like JR keeps saying, Triple H kept interfering. So, but the Tombstone just straight up, he gets the win over The Rock. What do you think about that? Undertaker retains.
Yeah, no, yeah, again, bro, if there's a lot of shenanigans and it's very creative and, Rock has some kind of an out, again, bro, like, at this point, Rock is really, really, really getting over. So you got to protect him, again, bro, it's like you're going to clean finish The Rock without using Triple H and all this stuff. That's why, bro, again, man, when you look at today's wrestling, that's why a lot of people just don't matter. It's win-loss, 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 win-loss. That's why, bro, coming out of WrestleMania, they didn't have any heels on a run to feed to Cody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what I would, knowing we're going to put the belt on Cody, I would have had the Big John Studs and the King Kong Bundys and all those guys. I would have been building them for months and months and months. But when one week this guy wins, the next week that guy wins, the next week this guy wins, nobody means anything. So that's why, bro, it is very, very, very important to protect talent.
So then we have the King of the Ring finals. Billy Gunn defeats X-Pac. Billy Gunn before the match had a nice little promo as well, but he hits the Famemaster for the win. Mr. S is your 1999 King of the Ring. He won in 5 minutes and 30 seconds. What do you think about Billy Gunn, King of the Ring?
Bro, Vince is really pushing him here. And, bro, Billy was the greatest athlete. Billy looked like $1 million. I never felt that Billy was going to get over on that mainstream level. And I got to tell you, bro, I think one of the reasons is that I think Billy himself knew he wasn't that great on the mic. Yep. He was always in the shadow of Road Dogg, who you could not compete with on the mic. And I always felt like, bro, Billy was just maybe trying too hard. He was really trying hard. And something, bro, like something for him to be main event, like I'm talking, in Austin, a Rock, for him to be that level, bro, something was just missing. It wasn't the physicality. It wasn't the work. It wasn't the athleticism. It wasn't the look. But something was just missing.
It's interesting with that because it's not like he's going to be number one contender for the title, but he is going to be facing like The Rock coming up. So, I mean, he will be getting a big feud eventually. I mean, The Rock is going to fight Triple H first for number one contendership for the world title. Triple H wins that. But it's interesting, like, you're kind of getting him ready. So, obviously, Vince likes him a lot. Maybe not like world title right away, but you could tell he's putting him with The Rock. So, I mean, that's a huge step up.
And bro, I say this all the time and I get myself in trouble. Billy had a little bit of an accent, and he kind of came across a little bit as a good old boy. Bro, it's hard to get guys like that over. I mean, bro, when you think about like in the WWE, wrestlers from the South who had that kind of a little accent, who really got over? Not a lot of them, bro. I would say if you're talking about a wrestler from the South with a heavy Southern accent, I would say the dude that got over the most was Sid. But Sid was a freak, bro. Like, if you didn't get Sid over, you need to lose your job. Like, there's no way you were not going to get Sid over. And a lot of people say Dusty. Dusty did not have a Southern accent. Dusty did not come across like he was from the South. Dusty came across as Dusty. You know, Jeff Jarrett had a very, very, very heavy Southern accent, and he was a heel. And, you know, people hated him and they booed him. But to get a baby face over, man, bro, nobody really comes to mind that was able to get over with a Southern accent in a East Coast-based promotion.
You're going to get in trouble for that.
I mean, name somebody, like really name some outside of Sid, name somebody.
Well, would you think Austin has an accent? Or
no, that's not us. That's not a South. That's to a New Yorker. That's not a Southern accent.
Michaels? No, not really. Right?
No.
Hillbilly Jim?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that. But really, the strongest character from the South was probably Double J.
Yeah.
And they hated him. I mean, they absolutely hated Double J. I think that was a big part of it.
So Billy was due for a big push. Like, does Vince say that to you? Like, hey, he's getting a big push. Let's do something.
Bro, that's never used. But you could tell Vince is really behind him. You know Vince is really behind him. And bro, there's no reason to talk Vince out of it. You know, like I said, this dude is a stud and a great, great, great athlete. I'll be honest with you, bro. I think the Mr. Ass hurt him. I mean, just like, you know, again, I'm just going to go back to that. What kind of a name is Braun Breaker when he's a Steiner? Yeah. That hurts him, bro. The name hurts him. I think the Mr. Ass moniker might have hurt him as well.
Hey, Vince loves it. Mr. Ass.
He loves it. He loves it, bro. He loves that stuff.
Such a weird.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird, bro.
Like, badass is okay. Like, okay, he's the badass Billy Gunn, but Mr. Ass?
Yeah, it's weird, bro. It's really weird. That's why, like, you know, as much as I don't want to believe this lawsuit is true, some of the things, like, I'm like, yeah, bro, like that is something Vince would do or say. You know what I'm saying, bro? There were those traits that were just really weird, bro.
When you look at, obviously, what's going on with Billy Gunn here moving forward, he will eventually face The Rock, but the push doesn't go to the world title, never the world champion, never. And you're saying you kind of agree, like he shouldn't have been.
He's not getting over for whatever reason, bro. He's not getting over. It's not his look. It's not his work. It's not his commitment. He's not getting over.
Crazy. He might have been more over his daddy ass in AEW when he was doing that silly stuff.
Yeah,
scissoring and all the stuff. Yeah. So next up, winner take all. Vince and Shane McMahon versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. The suitable replacement, Steve Blackman. What do you think about that? He's going to be the suitable replacement.
You see, bro, that is why
Zach Shamrock.
That is why that was not promoted on Heat, because that's not a good payoff. People would have paid. People would have been disappointed if they would have paid money for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, though, we see, well, actually, before that, this is going to be the winner take all for the WWE ownership. They have a video package. They're showing the higher power, the unholy wedding, the crucifixion, Linda, Stephanie, Undertaker, the CEO, that whole thing. So it's all encapsulated in that video package. So we're all caught up with what's going on. Then GTV hits. And Shane McMahon is in the back laughing it up with the Mean Street Posse, watching the show, and they're going, Shane, are you even hurt? He goes, no, I was faking it. He goes, you kidding me? Blackman destroyed Shamrock. I'm just faking it. He goes, he barely hit me, blah, blah. So Michaels comes out and was like, what the hell is going on here? He goes, nope, Blackman is out. Shane is back in. So Shane is forced back in. The
fans went crazy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
GTV was supposed to be. Oh, wait, no, I forget who you told me.
Tom Green, man.
Tom Green, yes, okay. I was going to say not Goldust. Yeah, okay.
No, Vince didn't get that, bro. Yeah,
damn. But Tom Green was the one that revealed like all this backstage stuff that's going on. That's this hidden camera.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the Tom Green show? It is
Oh,
the
bro,
Tom Green show.
religiously. Are you kidding me, bro?
It's not the
It's the
Green
Tom.
Tom show.
This
Yeah.
is the Tom Green show. It's not the Green Tom
Yeah.
show. This is my favorite show. Way
Yeah.
ahead of its time,
Yeah.
bro. People don't understand. That was before Jackass. That was before all that stuff, bro.
Tom Green was great. He was awesome.
Bro, do you know how you know, like what became of Tom Green?
No.
Oh my God, bro. He went off the grid, moved back to his hometown, where he was in Canada somewhere, and like just lives remote with him and his dog and owns all this property. Like he still puts a lot of videos out on YouTube. He podcasts from the place, but he totally got out of the whole scene and just is living off the grid. But yeah, bro, that dude was way ahead of his time.
So obviously HBK put Shane back in, and now we have Austin versus Vincent Shane in this winner take all ladder match for the control of WWE, the ownership, and everything that goes with it. Like we talked about before, you invented the Money in the Bank ladder match without even realizing it. They stole it years later for WrestleMania 21, and the rest is history. But Austin, basically, he's about to win, right? I mean, you're brawling everywhere. They're using the ladder, using the ladders on the set, which almost look like it's going to collapse because Austin takes one of the ladders off. I mean, it's just brawling all around. Austin's about to win, and then the briefcase gets lifted by someone. It keeps getting lifted, so he's not able to grab it, even though he should have. Then, basically, Vince and Austin are both on the ladder. Shane sacrifices his dad and throws them both off. They both land. They're both kind of out of it. Shane goes back up. Somebody lowers it back down. Shane goes up. Shane gets the briefcase and wins this winner-take-all ladder match. But it's never revealed, even on the show, but even really after, it's never revealed who the hell helped the McMahons do it. Was that supposed to be a big storyline? And like, who the hell was it going to be?
Did it have to be revealed, bro? I mean, Vince had his camp, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Vince had a lot of guys that were on his side. My God, bro, it could have been Patterson. It could have been Briscoe. I mean, there's so many people that it could have been trying to help Vince. I don't know if a reveal is important. I mean, Vince had a lot of freaking allies. That was never going to be a big part of the story. I'll be honest with you, John. I don't know why we didn't reveal it. I don't know why. Maybe we just forgot, but that was never going to be a big part of the story.
It's one of those things like, was it Boss Man? Who it kind of seemed like could have been, or was it Steve Blackman? Could have been Blackman.
Bro, this could have been something this simple. This could have been something this simple. Whereas while they're all laying out the match, somebody comes up with the idea of raising and lowering, raising and lowering, raising and lowering. Bro, I guarantee you, when I was at these shows and I was working, I was not watching the show. I was working. So I swear to God, John, it could have been something very possible where that was part of how they came up with the creative, the cases going up and down. And as the writer, nobody smartens me up. So like, I don't even know it happens. I don't even know it takes place. And if I don't know it takes place, then you're not going to get any follow-up because I don't know. And this wasn't, the internet where everybody is talking about this. You didn't have that back then. So, bro, it's quite possible I never even saw it. They made it part of the match, but it was never really a big deal. And that's why it was never followed up on.
So Vince and Shane end up winning in 17 minutes, thanks to the shenanigans with the ladder. And obviously, Vince and Shane are going to be running away. They're back in control of WWF. The heels have won, and Austin is pissed as the show ends. What do you think about this show? Were you okay with it? Do you like it? It seemed like more storyline driven than actual like good matches to me.
Yeah, I mean, you got a really good hook going into Raw, man. You got a really good hook to drive people to that show. I would be interested to see, what's next. But Yeah, bro. It seemed, again, there was a lot of storytelling in this show. Probably not a lot of 5-star wrestling matches that people would have liked to see. But it does sound like a solid show to me that moved the stories along.
So it seems like Austin is going to be totally screwed, but on the next night on Raw, Shane basically is going to say, "You're fired as CEO." Vince is like, "I'm going to make you do ring duty. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to, you're going to be at the bottom of the ladder. Shane was at the top. You're going to be at the bottom of the ladder." So basically, he's going to try to screw Austin. Austin reveals, though, before they fired him, he was smart enough to write all these contracts, give himself number one contendership for the title. So he gets a rematch. He could beat up Vince whenever he wants if Vince tells him what to do. Like all this stuff. So you almost had to take some heat, and it really put some heat on the McMahons, but then almost fuel Austin a little bit because you can't just have Austin not get his revenge. You know what I mean? Even if it's one day. I mean, people wanted to see the McMahons get thwarted every time out.
Yeah, that's pretty good, bro. Yeah.
You like that writing? Do you think that's clever
Yeah,
writing?
no, I definitely do, bro.
He was smart enough to realize
it protects all the parties involved. Yes.
Do you like the fact that Vince and Shane win? Like, is that what it should be? Like the heels should be in control.
The heels got to be strong, bro. Like the heels have to be strong. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, bro, like I said, I'm writing again now, and it's just heat. Yeah, heels need heat, or the baby faces are never going to get over.
And with Austin, he's obviously still going to be going after the title. He tells Undertaker he's getting a shot. It's already signed, sealed, and delivered. But it's also good that he loses to Vince and Shane, but not really. It's a ladder match, and they cheated. So I mean, that's probably on you guys too when you're writing it, right? We got to make him look good.
Absolutely, 1,000%. Yeah. Because that's what the fans are going to say after the match. Austin would have won if this didn't happen, or Austin would have won if that didn't. I mean, that's what they're going to say. So he's protected.
And it's kind of leading up to The Rock still has a stake for the title. But Triple H screwed him, so he's still competing with Triple H, who said he wants the title. Mm-hmm. So now you got Undertaker, Austin, Rock, and Triple H all vying. Well, Undertaker is the champ, but all vying for that main event title picture. But it all kind of makes sense. And also you have Big Show and Kane feuding. Billy Gunn just won the King of the Ring. So it seems like everything's kind of falling into place.
And you're making the title the most important thing. Bro, you watch SmackDown now. The most important thing is the bloodline. Cody Rhodes is the champion with the title. That's what everybody should want.